Thank you for tuning in to the Beauty Boss Millionaire podcast with Falicia Fracassi, CEO of a chain of beauty lounges and medical spas in multiple states. She even self-funded her real estate portfolio. Her mission is to empower you with short, on-the-go business tips and advice to help you successfully start and run your company like a boss. And now, here's your host, Beauty Boss Millionaire, Falicia Fracassi.
Welcome to the Beauty Boss Millionaire podcast. I'm your host, Falicia Fracassi, and the objective of this podcast is really just to help my audience get a checklist together of the things that you are going to need to do as you begin to open your business. Maybe you already have a business and you haven't done these things. This is going to be really helpful for someone that is in the process of transitioning out of their 9-to-5, or that maybe has already started a business but hasn't set it up properly. So we're going to go through this checklist to make sure that you are doing these things before you just dive off into the deep end and start the business. Because some of these things you can still do while you're working your 9-to-5. In the last podcast, I was explaining on how it's important to have your family behind you. And to do that, you may have to sit down and have a family meeting. Explain to them what's going to be happening in this next chapter, because it is really going to require team effort, teamwork, and everyone needs to be on the same wavelength. Explain to them that, look, we're going to be taking this family up a notch. I'm not going to be able to do this, or I will be able to do this, but not as long. It's just a conversation that I think is fair for the entire family to know what you're trying to do, so they don't just start to see you with all these changes and everyone gets frustrated with you because you haven't explained that. I think that's the only right thing to do if you have a family or you have an obligation to a partner. If you and your partner are not on the same page, it might be a little tough, but at least you put that information out there. Hopefully you would have a partner that supports you and that will help you. But if you are in a position where your partner is not helpful, at least you gave them notice, because I am just a woman that is independent. I believe in everyone being able to find their own way in life. And sometimes that requires you doing it alone at first, and then later on they catch on. I've been so blessed and fortunate where when I started my business, my husband was supportive. He said, okay, well, whatever you want to do, let's do it. And I'll help you paint whatever it is. And I think that's very nice. But I've heard other stories from other women where their husband or their wife, they're not supportive. So the conversation is worth having so you can make sure everyone's on the same page. The next thing that you want to do is select your legal name and legal structure. You need to find out if you're going to be a LLC, or if you're going to be a corporation, whatever it is that you're going to do. You need to sit down and look it over with. You can always Google it. You can always meet with a business attorney. Some of them have free consultations, but it's important that you get your legal structure and legal name set up correctly. And then once you choose your name, you want to start writing that business plan and get that website going. Those are things that you can do while you're working your 9-to-5 still, because a lot of times people think, oh, I need to just quit my job so I can have more time to work on my business. But in my opinion, your 9-to-5, when you get done with that at 5 o'clock, have your dinner, and at 6 o'clock, you should be working on your business until you go to sleep. Less leisure time. Like if you're one of those people like, oh no, I have to go to my thing at this time every week for 3 hours or 2 hours, or hang out with my buddies for 2-3 hours. This is probably not for you. This is for the person that says, I have to sacrifice and do everything possible so I can have a better life for myself and focus my energy and time on this business. So really take time to write down your business plan and do research, because upon you doing research and writing things down, even if you're just writing it down on a pen and piece of paper of the name of the place, what it's going to look like, I don't care if you have little cartoon drawings, whatever plan that it is, you need to just have a plan with some prices in place, some packages in place, because you want to make sure you can sustain yourself, and you really want to make sure you've thought about this thoroughly before you just stop working your regular job. The next thing you want to do is also get your EIN, which is your employer identification number. It's actually free. A lot of people think this costs money. It's free. You just go on a website and you apply. Just type in EIN and it will pop up, and you can register your company with the government. And that will be your identification number, just like you have a social security number. And a social security card is the same thing for the business, but you have to register it. The next thing you want to do is you want to simply open up a bank account. Very simple thing to do. Some people don't do it. They just start holding the money and doing things all weird. Just set it up properly the first time. There are credit unions that offer free business bank accounts. Look around, do your research, find out, Google, free business bank accounts. Google, by the way, will be your best friend because you're going to have to be doing a lot of research because you want to make sure all the money is going into the business account. So you have a separate from your personal, so you're not mixing up the two. My accountant, when I first started off, I didn't have an accountant. I was my accountant. And I really had to make sure I didn't mix up my business money with my personal money. And any good business owner knows that you cannot mix the two. Even though we all make mistakes here and there, you try not to mix them up. This podcast has gone a little bit longer because it is a longer checklist. So we're going to have part 2 coming up next on tomorrow. So I will see you all tomorrow. And thank you so much for tuning into the Beauty Boss Millionaire with Falicia Fracassi.
That's it for today. Tune in tomorrow for the Beauty Boss Millionaire podcast. And don't forget to follow the Beauty Boss Millionaire, Falicia Fracassi, on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Beauty Boss Millionaire.